what I got in the mail today. I was going to do an unboxing, but I wanted to do my eye makeup today and I couldn't even wait. But it is the Urban Decay Naked Palette. It's the new Smoky palette and it's the 4th one in the line of all their 12 shade palette range. I have the other 3. I will be comparing this to those other palettes and I'm so excited for this. The packaging is beautiful as always. This box is really pretty, but let's get on the inside. I do want to note that this does say on the very back that there are 9 never before seen shades and 3 exclusive to just this palette. This is, I think, my favorite packaging Urban Decay has ever come out with, and I know I've heard a lot of other people say this, but this is just by far my favorite packaging. It's very reminiscent of the very first Naked packaging with the rectangular edges, as to where before, you know, you had the tin can kind of feel. And I promise I do have a shirt on. Now again, like I said, I've already broke this out of the packaging. I put it on my eyes today. I just kind of wanted to play with the shadows before I even come on talking about it at all. I feel like I should have had somewhat of an opinion on some of the shadows before I start running my mouth. I'm gonna give you a first look. I haven't taken the thing off of the mirror yet, but this is the shades and this is absolutely beautiful. The palette does come with the traditional brush that it always comes with. This does have a smudger side as well as a blender fluffier side so that you can do some crease work with this as well, and this would be really good like under the eye and then like in the inner corners if you want to smudge out any eyeliner or dark shadows with this. And it's interesting because what Urban Decay did with this palette is they sectioned their colors not from lightest to darkest. They did it from different finishes. So you've got 4 very like sparkly shimmery colors, 4 more on the satin matte side. These are colors that are a little bit more creamy. They have some shine to it, but it's not completely matte down, but there's no actual glitter chunks that are coming out of the actual shadows itself. And then you have 4 matte shades, and with the 4 matte shades alone you can make an eye look just by itself with just the 4 matte shades. The very first color is High, and this is Sin with a little bit more of a paler pink. It's a pale pink champagne color and I really love to use this as a highlight. This is really creamy. I did not notice a lot of fallout while using this today. It's a beautiful shade. Dirty Sweet is a more neutral gold. It's not too warm of an orange, but it is warm. When comparing it to something like Half Baked, it's definitely on the more neutral bronze side. I would say Radar is a metallic bronze color. It's more of a neutral bronze. It's not too heavy on the warm side either, but it's definitely warmer, one of the warmer colors out of the whole palette itself. Armor is what I've used on the outer crease and on the inner crease of my eyes today. I love this color, but it does have a lot of fallout. It's a really interesting color. It depends on how you look at this color as to what color you do see. It's definitely like a gray taupe with some purple blue hues to it. Either way you turn it in the light, it's a really beautiful shade. And even though it does have fallout, I still think it's going to be one of my favorite shades to use out of the whole palette, just because it's so interesting, and it does have, like, you can use this every day for a smoky look and it's not too crazy dark. Slanted is like a shimmery gray blue color. This would be so pretty like all over the lid. If you want to do like a really cool gray smoky eye, that would be beautiful. The next one is Dagger, and it's a really interesting color. It's not exactly like a black color, even though it looks black in the pan. Right next to Black Market, it's definitely a darker gray with some blue tint to it. It depends on how you turn your eyes into the light. It's not a matte shade. Again, this is a satin shade, and so this is just a really interesting color to like deepen up the crease, or you could even use this all over the lid. Since it's not, you know, you're not committing all the way to a black shade, this would be really cool like all over the lid. And then you could do something like Armor over the top just to add a little bit of sparkle. That would be really pretty. And then Black Market, again, it's not a jet black color. The satin texture of this eyeshadow helps it blend the nicest, and so I think the satin formulas out of all of Urban Decay's formulas are my favorite. The next one is Smolder. I feel like I've seen Smolder in another palette before. I think I'm crazy, I don't know. This is a really pretty like darker purple color. Again, this is a satin finish, and this would be really pretty to pair with a purple smoky eye, or if you want to do all the matte neutral colors and then add this purple as a pop of color if you're not really used to wearing a lot of bright colors. If you want to introduce a color into your eye looks, if you're used to wearing more neutral colors, a darker purple would be great. This would be really pretty smudged out on the lower lash line. Smolder isn't too much on the bright purple side. It's a nice plum, but it still is a dark plum, so you could easily get away with using color in your eye looks if you don't like using color at all. This would be a really pretty plum to add into your looks. The next one is Password, and this is an interesting color because it's sort of like a brown taupe gray color. It's really hard to describe. I used it to blend out the color Armor today, and this really goes well with this palette. Like, this was a very smart shade for Urban Decay to use in this palette because I don't really have anything like Password. It's not all the way gray. This is a really nice matte shade if you want to use to deepen up the crease, because this is not exactly a light enough shade to use as a transition shade. I would say Whiskey is just a straight up chocolate brown. This is such a nice blendable matte color. I have been looking for a chocolate brown like this in Urban Decay's palettes for a long time. The next one is Combust, and this is a really nice, it's a paler neutral color. I even was able to pull this off as a transition shade in my eye look today. It wasn't too dark, but it definitely was the skin tone shade that you want to use to blend out different colors between each other, to make it all seem seamless in your eye look, and this color does that for me. You can also use this as an all over base shade if you want to, you know, enhance the colors of your other eyeshadows that you're using in your eye look, and so that's a really great one. And then 13 again is that matte white that you can use for anything. You can use it for brightening, for under the eyebrow, for all over the lid, for lightening an eye look, for doing in the inner corner. This is just a universal matte white. Well, it's not necessarily white, it's like a matte creamy white. Overall, the whole palette itself is absolutely fantastic. The brush itself, I'm really surprised at the brush that they included something with the pencil brush and the blender. This is just a beautiful palette. I know I'm going to be doing some looks, so you guys subscribe, stay tuned, give me some requests for something that you want to see. So these are all 4 of the Naked palettes. You can find some similar shades in other palettes, but I think the Naked Smoky is worth it to buy if you don't own a Naked palette, or if you do own a Naked palette. So yeah, just a quick rundown on what I used in my eyes today. I used 13 all over my lid, Combust in the crease, and then used Armor in the crease and on the inner part of my eyes, and then I used High on the middle of my eyelid, and then I used Dagger and then Black Market to kind of darken it up in the crease a little bit, not too much though, and then I used Armor and Slanted underneath my eyes, and then I used High as my inner corner highlight. But that is what I used all in all for today's look. If you do want me to do a tutorial or use this palette in the future, I definitely will. Just if you have any requested look, tell me down below, give me a comment, and thank you so much for all of my new subscribers. It is awesome for you to join the family, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see in the future. I am so open to it, and I just want you to know that I just thank you so much for your support and your positive comments on my channel. This is just awesome. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much. So that is it. I definitely recommend, if you're a lover of Urban Decay, or if not, this is still a great palette for anybody who wants to add this into their collection. And I love you guys. You guys have a great day. I will see you all later.
Take me away from home.
I shouldn't be this excited over makeup, but I am.